We're here with the American Humane Association's Red Star team. We're in South Carolina due to the flooding at Beck Middle School, where we're establishing an emergency shelter. The Red Star team is part of the National Animal Rescue and Sheltering Coalition that bonds together during times of disaster to provide for the welfare of animals that are affected by that disaster. It's a great opportunity to bond together and have a unity of effort. In the gymnasium, we're setting up crates in a cat room and an isolation room.
The NARSC organizations that are here this week on the ground making this possible are the American Humane Association, ASPCA, the International Fund for Animal Welfare, Code3 Associates, Red Rover, PetSmart Charities, and so many others that were able to pull together their support to make sure that we have the medical supplies, the food, the sheltering supplies, and the resources that are going to make this operation a success.
We'll be ready to receive the various animals from the rescue teams that are out in the field and shelter them until we can find an appropriate home for them.
We got contacted about a family that did need our help. The owner of the house usually only had about 5 indoor house cats, and the rest of the cats that were in the house, he had moved in because of the rains. He didn't want them being trapped outside in the barn, so he wanted a safe place for them inside the house, thinking that his house wasn't getting flooded and he would be back and be able to, feed and care for them. They weren't expecting their house to be flooded, and it did flood, which restricted their access to getting back to their cats. A week after not being able to get to your house with over 20 cats inside it, the scene gets pretty nasty pretty quick.
Many people think of floods as just water, rainwater, clean water. What they don't realize is flood water can be very contaminated. Various businesses, organizations where there's household hazardous waste, gas stations, oil spills, everything that's on the side of the road really becomes part of the floodwaters.
We had to ferry personnel and equipment over on a boat. Once you get on the porch, you start actually taking in what had happened to the house. You could see the water line was at least 4 feet up. The furniture had floated and settled wherever it ended up. It was nasty upstairs. You have that boxed-in smell of confined animals living in a space that is hard to describe, but it's a smell that you can taste when you breathe.
You can see from the feces and the blood that these guys are sick.
We went in there and kind of worked room by room collecting the animals.
The ideal situation is we're going to get a cat that comes over to us naturally, and we can grab them and get them to safety. But some cats don't want to come to you, so we're able to use different equipment like a net, grab them as quick as we can and put them into a very kennel and get them to safety where we can get them medical treatment and food and water and get them cleaned up from the floodwaters.
You got another one, John? Same deal? You want to come over to you and slide it in the box? Yep.
We want to protect ourselves from bites, scratches, especially when they've been in the conditions they were in. They've got floodwater on their feet, they've been walking around in their own feces. If they were to scratch or bite us, we would get an infection from that pretty quick.
As a capture team, continued their work and we started to finish the interior work and get as many animals as we could out of the interior. There were 4 or 5 that remained on the roof and had a good visual of everything that went on, and I'm sure it was very entertaining for them. So we were able to place a ladder on the front of the house and send 2 responders up to try to entice the cats off the roof. We had some food up there and they would want to come partway down after the food, but we're still leery of people in rescue gear. We were able to catch one of the cats, but the rest remained on top and weren't going to come down. So what we were able to do was leave fresh food, fresh water. The next day, the owners will try to lure them in the house and try to capture them themselves to be removed out of the environment.
In this particular case, this loving family has been caring for dozens of cats for decades. They have been taking in cats injured from the busy road outside their house. They're responsible about spaying and neutering. However, the numbers continued to grow because people knew that this family would care for those unwanted pets. Yesterday, they had tears in their eyes as they said, yes, Shannon, we are overwhelmed and we asked for help. We made sure that the cats they're gonna be resting here. They need proper medical care. They need regular, proper diets. And the family has to put their life together. They have no place to take their cats back to. So they're going to need to rebuild. Fortunately, we're looking at being able to place about 20 of their cats into new forever homes, and it's going to be really great. It's going to lighten their burden, and it's going to be a new lease on life for these cats.
They'd really lost everything, and their only concern was for the animals, for the cats in the house. And everything else came second to them. Being able to help them by helping their animals was a connection to them that I've never felt before. To support animals all year round, please support our Red Star Rescue Team. For all the animals, we thank you.